Hello, ladies and gentlemen, professors, colleagues, new university business students. Today, I would like to talk about entrepreneurship and the importance of a one-page business plan outline. This is the very basic foundation to entrepreneurism. And what I'll do is I'll just basically take and go through each column, and hopefully you all have downloaded this on your phone or you printed it out and can go along with me here. Now, I'm doing this on a smartphone, a iPhone XS Max, 500 gigabytes, which I've used most of the space, but anyway, we will be doing it on a phone, and hopefully I can do it. So, company and industry. Company. Describe the startup and background of your company. Where, when, and why started. Where are you located and why? Your related background, experience, startup, investment, and advisory team members. And now this is very important. In future lectures, I will discuss investments more. You will find if you do a good business plan, often you will find the money within that plan. And with a few creative ways you can structure the deal with documents and so forth, the money is often found in the business plan. So, entrepreneurism, the foundation is business plan, and I promise you, the money is there often. Okay, trademarks, patent, logos, development, all those things that, may be involved in some businesses. Future goals and plans. It's always important to have some type of future goal or plan. Okay. Industry. Describe the state of your industry, who the major players are, chief characteristics, growth, and trends, and present a SWOT analysis. Now, we know in general, without going into SIC codes and all that stuff and categorization of different industries, which you will learn in your more advanced business classes. But anyway, we know that food service like McDonald's or KFC or whatever is in one category. Real estate maybe in another, construction another, road building another, general industry that you're in. SWOT. SWOT is a very a highly used acronym in business. SWOT means strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And you should always look at these things. Strengths. Excuse me, it's late at night and I need some water. Let's see if I can find water. As I mentioned, I should be teaching you folks in a large auditorium tomorrow, but unfortunately COVID has prevented that, so we're doing an online version. Let me take a little sip here. Alrighty, great. Strengths. still having problems with this. List your company's internal strengths in accounting, finance, marketing, human resources, operations, and technology. Now, you all are beginning university students, so you don't really have a good understanding of accounting yet. And I hope to share with your professors a quick, like a quick cheat sheet for accounting, or quick reference to Accounting 1, Accounting 2, financial, managerial, etc. And as you go along, you'll learn some amazing techniques that help you understand business. Now, in general, business is something, a little acronym I picked up, REM, revenues minus expenses equals money. Now, 8 years of business school, about $300,000, I narrowed it down to three little things. REM, revenues minus expenses equals money. But it isn't that simple. When you get into accounting, you have lots of spreadsheets and various things that you have to understand. And there are some apps that you can download, and I'll share that with your professors as well, which can give you quick access to a lot of accounting sheets that, during my time at university, I was writing those spreadsheets myself, to, statement of cash flows, and as I mentioned, the revenues minus expenses equals money stuff. But anyway, all of these accounting things can be downloaded, as well as financial analysis, marketing, various marketing sheets, promotions, etc., human resources, operations, and technology. Technology is a little bit more complex, but in general, most of these things are spreadsheets, Word documents, PowerPoint presentations, video stuff. And video is very, very important. YouTube channels, social marketing, Instagram, etc., etc. These things you can do with an iPhone anymore. I mean, literally, I can pull up various accounting documents, or finance, or marketing, human resources, blah, blah, blah. Fill out the forms, plug in some numbers, and send that anywhere in the world to deal with a project in some way, shape, or form. So don't underestimate the value of that phone. It's not to play games on like you have the past few years as you were going to school. Now it's a time to realize your phone, your smartphone, is an extremely valuable resource. Okay. And now let's go to the next thing, weaknesses. List your company's internal weaknesses in accounting, finance, marketing, human resources, operations, and technology. Again, if you're playing games on your phone instead of organizing all of your business stuff there, or on an iPad, or your PC, or whatever, then it's really a weakness instead of a strength. Opportunities. List your company's external opportunities in trends, market growth, new markets, new products. I think that's self-explanatory. If you're wanting, if you have a little coffee shop and you see that the weather's starting to get cold and you're selling more coffee or hot cocoa, that kind of thing. Then you've got some market growth. Could there be new markets if you open up a new shop down the street or something like that? New products, maybe some snacks, cookies to go along with that coffee shop. Now, again, it depends on what kind of industry you're in, but, this is a very basic overview of opportunities. Now, threats. List your company's external threats, such as new competition, lack of user adoption, lack of sales, price wars, etc. One thing about small businesses in Kyiv, you could open up a business and 3 more just like it open up beside you. So competition is very brutal in Kyiv. So you have to really look at these things. Are you going to put too much money into it? For instance, I've seen coffee shops that may cost, $50,000 or $100,000 to open, whereas someone went out and picked up some salvage furniture off the side of the road, painted it, etc., opened up a small coffee shop with basically no money, and got someone to rent them a coffee machine, and voila, they were in business. And because it was character and these people were pretty cool and it was next to a university, they were doing far more business than one of the larger chains that spent a lot of money. So, using your resources wisely and thinking when you go into a business is very, very important. Okay. All right, here we go. Products and services. What? Okay. Products and services. Describe your products, your services, unique features, stage of development, production and manufacturing, product liabilities, proprietary features, comparison, and competitive offerings. Now, there may be some words that you have to look up. I understand that. And, that's normal. I would suggest a Barron's dictionary, business dictionary. Hopefully you can find it online, either buy it or find a way to, quickly reference words that you want to look up in business. Very, very important to have a good business dictionary. Okay, so we understand what products and services are. What kind of unique features, what makes your product stand out. Stages of development, that could be in manufacturing, it could be in development, real estate development, road building, new technologies, etc., etc., production, manufacturing, lean development, just-in-time inventory, and things like that you will get classes in the future to reduce cost and so forth and so on. Product liabilities, if you're selling a bicycle with, the new e-bikes that go like 150 miles an hour, and that's going to be some issues, I think, in the future. And where can you ride those, etc., etc. Just an example. Okay, comparison and competitive offerings. I think that's self-explanatory. how do you compare with someone else, and is it competitive? If you're selling coffee for 25 grivna and the person next to you is selling it for 10 and it's the same coffee, then there's going to be some comparisons and competitive issues. Okay. Value proposition. Describe what makes your company, products, or services so remarkable and why. Here's a good time to maybe mention Trump. Trump's name has always basically dealt with luxury real estate. If his name was on a building, he was going to command a higher price. And he knows that and has marketed that for decades. So what value proposition can you add to whatever product or service that you'll be dealing with? How are you going to find a problem and then create a solution and add value in there where you're going to be able to make money? That's a very important focus point there. Find a problem, find a solution, and that is value. Now, if you can be very creative and add additional values, then that's a plus. Like when I deal with real estate, I may see like a piece of vacant land and I immediately start thinking, okay, I don't need an investor. The investor is right there with the land. I just have to cut it up into puzzle pieces and either sell, lease, develop in ways that creates additional value that justifies that project. So you'll have to look at your product and service and figure out creative ways to add values. Okay, let's see here. The VPMF test. How feasible is your business? Is your business capable of being done? So 1, value. What value do you bring to the lives of customers? Early in the morning, a nice cup of coffee and a little snack is very valuable to a lot of people. And I'll not expand into other products and services, but I think you get the idea. That's very important value. 2, problem solving. What problems do you solve for your customers? Maybe convenience, an affordable cup of coffee on your way to work or right near your work or university or whatever. Hey, problem solved. You reap the rewards of making those sales. Money-making capability. Can you make money with whatever venture that you try to do? Whatever industry that you want to enter, products, services, how are you going to make money at it? And this will be, accounting again. Revenues minus expenses equals money as a basic. How are you going to do that? Do the numbers work? If the numbers don't work, then you're not going to be in business long. 4, fit. How well does this venture fit your background, experience, and financial situation? This is very important. Why get into a business that really doesn't fit your background? Granted, people have been successful in business, but they hated it. they were artists and they began running a restaurant or something like that. And they weren't doing what they love. Try to find something that you really love and create the business around that. And does it fit your experience? Do you have experience that will justify the comfort of going into this? Now, granted, you can get out of your comfort zone if you have a good business education, and it allows you to be diverse and do different types of business, but you're still going along with the basic frameworks of sound economic and finance principles and accounting and so forth and so on. So, that is your background and your experience, of course. And financial situation. I sort of have this philosophy that you need some type of base income, some kind of little small business, if nothing else, to have some income coming in, and then from there you branch out into what you really want to expand into. And this was something that we did many, many years ago. We had a small restaurant, university bar, while we ran a major real estate group downstairs in the offices there. And we actually had our flats above the bar and restaurant, so everything was right there in one area, where it allowed us to eat basically whatever we wished at the restaurant, have our meetings there occasionally, as well as quickly run downstairs to look at, construction plans or budgeting or whatever, or meet people there to sign deals, sell homes, build home contracts, etc., etc. So you need some kind of little base income and resources. And also use your resources wisely. A lot of times, just starting out, people have a tendency to squander their money. They'll go out and they'll, eat at McDonald's 3 times a day and go out partying, drinking with their friends and stuff. And they waste more money in a few days than what most entrepreneur-minded people will use for transportation to and from locations, to go look at possible business deals, or go meet with people to organize their teams, their and what they need to open a business. So use your resources wisely. You have to start thinking you're no longer a kid where your parents are giving you money. You're out there on your own soon. Okay, elevator pitch. Get one ready. You're going to need it. Learn how to give an effective, attention-grabbing statement about your business and what makes you and it so special. No time to be shy. Your next deal could depend on it. Now, there's something I used to encourage my son to do when he was very young, and I think when he was like 8 or 9 years old, he gave a speech at Toastmasters in Kyiv, and he basically, I told him to come up with 3 things. You start off with, basic introduction. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is such and such. Today I want to tell you a little bit about myself, my school, and my sports and activities. Or, in this case, it would be about yourself, your business, and maybe, if you wish, your hobbies, if you feel like you've built a little rapport with someone. And in about 30 seconds in an elevator, you can describe your business with just 3 things. My elevator pitch might be, hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name's Harvey Carroll. I have a BBA in real estate and finance, 3 partial master's degrees, MBA, public administration, and diplomacy in international commerce. I have helped develop tens of millions of dollars worth of real estate projects, consulted on major shopping centers, mid-rise towers, smart plazas, etc. I was a broker in a couple states. I sold millions of dollars worth of real estate in Kentucky and Florida. And, I'm now sort of chilling out. I consult a little bit part-time, do a little bike riding, hiking, a little bit of golfing. Was playing tennis, but it's really hard to find a good tennis court in Kyiv. Last time I played tennis, I took my shirt off. I got a big scar from a surgery, and they're like, "What happened?" I'm like, I sold my kidney to buy my wife a shuba. What, Stowe? And, obviously I was joking. I told them, I had to remove a kidney for health reasons. Anyway, let's move on to the next thing. Okay, market analysis. Who? Business to business or business to customer? Market size. Annual expenditure. Total market demand. Again, supply and demand. Find a problem and solve that problem. If people need more coffee, supply that demand. Market segments. Describe your tribe, the different groups who will buy your products or services. Are you going to be selling to the nearby university, the businesses in the area? Who will be buying your products? Which segments will you target and why? It's very important, your target market. If you're dealing with lower cost items versus luxury items, how are you going to sell those, and to who, and how are you going to do that? Okay, target market characteristics. Demographics, age, income, gender, education. Now, when we were building and selling homes, we knew the demographics of the area. We knew how many people lived in that particular city, the ages, the income, the genders, the education, and were they buying the price of home that we were building, and about how many were sold on the market each year, and could we absorb a portion of that market share. So these things are, very important in many businesses. I would say all businesses. Psychographics, attitudes, opinions, beliefs, the psychology of why people buy kind of things. The geographics, the locations, behavioral, purchase characteristics, needs and wants. What problem will you solve? Tribe characteristics. Tribe basically means group, by the way. Group characteristics. What are the higher order values that you can tap into? Again, lower income, middle class, luxury, or what characteristics, are you tapping into? Or, for instance, some hole in the wall, small cafe selling shots of vodka with some slices of kielbasa and argutzi. cucumber versus a 5-star restaurant in the center of Kyiv. Okay, now let's go up here. Marketing strategy and how. Whoop, there we go. Market strategy. Describe how you will engage, build trust, and lead your customers, tribe, gain trust, sell later. Well, gain trust and sell later. Maybe, but in reality, there's a lot of types of sales, and selling in general is a whole different class, and maybe someday in the future I will give a series of lectures on that. Sales is extremely important in many businesses. You have to be a master closer in some businesses. Car sales, home sales, vacation property sales, etc. And sometimes you may only have a customer that you meet for a half hour to a couple hours, and they don't really want to buy. Or they do, they just don't want to buy now. So Harvard business case studies have concluded that people say no 7 times before they say yes, because they really want to be sold on the facts, the benefits, and they have to feel the urgency and be able to give you feedback so that you can continue to overcome objections to them buying now. And we used to have this philosophy, sell it today, sell it now. Okay? And I was a master closer. I was in the top 3% in the number 1 resort in the world. Okay? I am a master closer. I've written sales books. I've trained salespeople. And sales is an art, a very necessary art. And I would shock you on the amount of money that I made in weeks that most people don't make in years. So sales is very important, and you can sell today, you can sell it now if you know how to overcome objections, to deal with the facts, the benefits, the urgency, and the feedback, and that continuous discussion process, because people have to feel comfortable. And of course, you're gaining their trust by continuing to give them the facts and benefits in order for them to feel comfortable before they buy. And there's a lot of buying techniques I'm not going into right now. Selling techniques, sorry. Buyers' mentalities, dominant buying modes, etc. All right, target market. Who will be your targeted market? What product will be sold to that target market? At what price? How are you going to promote that, and at what cost? And again, the price of those, and then the engagement. Like when I was dealing with the sales that I talked to you about, marketing on average was spending $300 to $350 per person just to set them down in front of me. Yet I was making the company thousands, tens of thousands in that short time that I was meeting with those people. So, it's a somewhat variable cost that you just have to deal with. Competition. Who are your major competitors? How do you compare in size and business volume? Okay, very important. Who are your competitors and how do you compare in size and business volume? Like, if you're going to set up a hamburger restaurant next to McDonald's, that might not be the wisest choice, And I've seen people try it, and it doesn't work. Almost any restaurant will have a major competition problem with McDonald's. Even in shopping centers, you see the huge crowds at McDonald's versus, say, another business right next to them selling salads, for instance. But there's a market for both if it's promoted right, if the prices are right, etc., etc. What is your competitive advantage or distinctive competence? Product, price, promotion, distribution, technology. So what distinguishes you? Is it your product? Is it your price? Is it how you promote it? Distribution, technology. I'm trying to think of a good TV ad. Snickers, for instance. It used to have, crusher, crusher, crusher. You heard that a lot. They were really doing a great job promoting Snickers. Distribution, how are you distributing it? Is that a competitive advantage or is it not? Technology, how are you using technology? Are you using Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, etc. to promote your product or service? Anticipated competitive response to your company. I think it's somewhat statistical to say, okay, 7 out of 10 people, like our coffee, for instance, or they don't like our coffee. So what are you going to do about that? Or do you even want to be in business if you're selling coffee with soy milk that is totally bitter and they don't like that versus everybody else selling coffee with normal milk? Or is that a niche to where you're going with the health food type thing and people are going to come there because of that? And there's some very successful vegan restaurants that would probably compete with, if they set up next to McDonald's, for instance. So, these are things that you really have to do a lot of analysis and figure out and discuss before you jump into something. Okay, brand pillars. On what basis is your company different from others? Pillars is like what holds the roof up kind of thing, the columns. What's going to hold your company up and make it different from others? What values does your company stand for? For instance, the vegan restaurants in Basarabka, their beliefs is totally vegan, healthy, etc. So their values is, is important. And that's an attractive sales point and marketing stance. It's also very good because they have all the fresh vegetables and fruits and everything right there at the market. So it's not only a competitive advantage, it's a smart, wise choice to be able to get just-in-time inventory when you can walk out the back of your cafe and walk next to you and say, hey, I need some tomatoes or lettuce or whatever for these wraps. So, they're cutting cost with supply chains, etc., and they're developing good working relationships with people, probably even lines of credit, and say, hey, I need, 5 kilos of tomato and 2 heads of cabbage or lettuce, and I'll pay you later after I sell, So, think wisely when you're organizing your business. And list your brand pillars. What? As I just mentioned, if you go back through the business plan that we just had and you look at the health food thing, coffee, whatever, they look at these things. So, ladies and gentlemen, in general, that is a 1-page business plan outline that is the foundation of entrepreneurism. Thank you. Good luck. I hope I get to give future lectures to you folks, and I hope that you integrate technology, as I mentioned, the spreadsheets and so forth, and I've already shared this with your professor, links and to apps and so forth and so on. And maybe I can even create a list in the future for you to download for free, put on your phones or in your tablets or computers or whatever for quick access. It will really help you in your accounting, finance classes, business classes, etc. So again, thank you, students, and good luck. And I appreciate y'all having me. And perhaps I will do a live Zoom and we can discuss these things a little bit more in detail. Thank you. Have a good day.